Well, hi everybody, and welcome to this integrative meditation introduction. I'm Alex Utterben of Energetics of Self-Care, and today we're going to talk about the most effective method of meditation available for self-care, because it allows you to do your meditation while you're doing other things, while you're working, while you're going throughout the different activities in your day, making it so that your system has far less stress in it throughout the day. And then there's much, much less to have to decharge or dissolve later. And I have to say, it's really a joy to share these kinds of techniques with everybody and to get us meditating in a way that really takes care of our energetic systems. So integrative meditation, here's the overview. You can meditate anywhere, anytime, even while you're working, to keep your inner core charged and calm. You'll create more inner strength, clarity, resilience, and a walking wellness that others can receive. So it's a very, very powerful technique, and it's a very, very, very simple technique that you can do while you're doing everything else. So yes, that's me. I'm Alex Utterman. I'm your facilitator. And yes, I have been a lifetime meditator for decades and decades, especially using this kind of integrative meditation. So who is this training for? Anyone who wants to reduce daily stress, period, straight out the bat. Everybody, regardless of your occupation, your circumstances in life, and so on. Anyone in the helping and the service professions. And by helping professions, obviously EMS or psychotherapy or cashier work, anything that is helping or in service to other people, where you have to interact with people. That can also include online, like in call centers or customer support, like that. Definitely for healthcare professionals, this is a vital technology to have as one of your tools. Especially for our frontline health workers during this pandemic, right? This is a really, really traumatizing time for our folks on the front line. And the meditation techniques are incredibly helpful, especially for those people who are really in the thick of it. So it's also for anybody who's experiencing overwhelm or burnout. Anybody who has never meditated before in your life. What's that? Meditation? It's also for experienced meditators. This training is very, very helpful if you've meditated in your life already. This will kind of be a no-brainer depending on what style and what method you've used for meditation. This training is also for anybody who's tried to meditate and it didn't go well. If that's you, this is an excellent training. It'll make a lot of sense and it'll simplify everything. This training is also for anybody who has tried different stress relief techniques, from working out and running and yoga. There's all kinds of things that we know help, and they're kind of like on the surface level. So they bring some relief, but it takes a lot of time to do that, right? An hour of workout or whatever. Lots of different stress relief techniques, breathing, right? A lot of different things that are out there being touted as, great stress relief. They're time consuming. It's an extra thing you have to do in your day. And this kind of meditation is not. Yes, different stress relief techniques like the warm bath and the good book, right? It's great, but as I'm saying, it's taking a lot of time. So this training is really for anybody who's wanting next level preventive wellness. How is that possible? Well, here's the thing. There's an old saying, right? If you don't take the time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make the time later for your illness. And really, nobody can afford that. So how we go about this process of integrative meditation, it's upending this kind of situation entirely. Because, but you could, what if you could dissolve existing stress while you're working and prevent more stress from building up in your system at the same time? In other words, it's not costing you any extra time once you've learned the technique. Well, that sounds ideal. Yes? Yes. That's the beauty of integrative meditation. So what is it and how does it work, this integrative meditation? You can see people on the job, but in their minds, they're also at the same time meditating. For one thing, it complements the decharging stress and strain tools profoundly. And you can use the integrative, as the name would suggest, meditation with some of the decharging techniques, which we will describe later in the training. Just good to know that. So as we explained in decharging, the human system is like a battery. It really functions that way. We hold positive charges and we hold negative charges, as we know. And the entire discussion of decharging is about getting rid of, decharging, literally pulling out those negative charges through the different elements of nature and a certain process to connect to them very efficiently. Great. So getting rid of the negative charges at the end of the day or after a stressful experience, we need to do that. That's very important. However, let's talk about the positive charges, which is the meditation process. Integrative meditation is a strong positive charging to that inner battery. What does that mean? Well, we'll get there. However, with the strong positive charging, anybody can do it, any level. Really, even her. You could do it while you work. Charging the battery, even while you're engaging with other people, even while you're engaging in maybe potentially difficult emotional situations or even life and death situations. Great, strong positive charging. Yes, here are all these nice people. And at the same time they're doing their normal occupations and their tasks, they also can be doing the integrative meditation process as a kind of background thought. So what do I mean by super strong positive charging? Here we go. You can use this meditation technique while you work as a background thought. It's not diverting your attention from the tasks at hand at all, especially when you're really familiar with it. This meditation creates energetic protection like a bulletproof shield, so you absorb less stress daily and will have fewer negative charges to have to decharge later. That's crucial. So we're building so much positive charge in our system that it's actually repelling the negative charges. So the stressors are there, of course. I mean, you can't avoid stress and stressful conditions, stressful situations, if that's the nature of your occupation. However, they can't penetrate so much when you're doing this kind of technique and when there's a positive charge of that inner battery. It provides an increased inner clarity and creativity throughout your day. What does that mean? It means that you may be more likely to come up with better solutions and think faster on your feet and be kind of less befuddled if the chips are down and it's a difficult situation by doing this meditation process regularly. It creates and kind of hones the inner sense and the inner faculties very, very strongly. There's a feeling of being supported, especially in difficult situations. The integrative meditation technique is really helpful when you're up against it. And in fact, not only does it make us develop an inner strength that helps us get through difficult situations, but it actually has a kind of energy function that it can help dissolve difficult situations around us. It's quite miraculous to see. You'll be better equipped to calm negative emotions down on the spot. So a stressful thing occurs, maybe ordinarily you'd have a big reaction. When you jump to the integrative meditation process, just effortlessly in your mind, it can pull down your reactivity so that you're better able to handle, again, the situation. Creates a stronger inner core, makes it much more difficult to absorb stress or be pulled off balance. Strong positive charging means you can regain balance rapidly, especially if big emotions like anxiety or fear or anger or frustration or any of these things, if they're running. And that includes trauma from life and death situations as well. The strong positive charging of this inner battery leads to an increased inner peace and calm, especially if you're doing it all the time, day in, day out. This meditation tool can also be used to bless a situation or a person strongly. And I do go into that at some length in this training. It also leads to increased resilience, especially if you're using it every day. So these are pretty good benefits, right? Having a strong inner core is everything. The ripple effect from your inner wellness will naturally spread to others. People can feel it. It splashes onto them in really extraordinary ways and makes us better caregivers, makes us better equipped to handle the difficult situations that perhaps other people around us are going through. And strangely enough, people start to feel kind of uplifted just being around you. It's really a way to walk in wellness and to share that self-care and let it permeate others and the environment around you. So this is what happens when you have a strong inner battery and it's really charged. Integrative meditation is a little bit extraordinary in the sense that you can learn it in a day and then you can use it really literally throughout your whole lifetime. I've been doing this kind of meditation technique for over 20 years now. And it is pretty miraculous, I have to say. Here's the thing about it. If you can hear yourself think, you can meditate anywhere. There's no barrier with a noisy or busy workplace or situations or environment. It doesn't matter at all. Really, truly, if you can hear yourself think, you can meditate. I'm constantly in meditation using this kind of technique all the time, no matter what's going on in my life. You can use it while you're working. You can use it as a background thought. It doesn't require extra time or thought, attention, stress, or focus from you. Once you learn the technique, it just happens automatically. So, integrative meditation, the results are in. As your inner battery gets stronger every day through the cumulative effect of these growing positive charges of the integrative meditation, stress cannot make as much of a home in your system as it used to. And that's really good news. So integrative meditation, this is Janet Garibay. She's an office manager and a chiropractic assistant in a super busy practice here in Los Angeles where I live. And there's a lot of trauma coming in the door there all the time. Janet says, Alex taught me about integrative meditation and how powerful it is. One day when I was driving, I noticed I wasn't clenching my jaw and my hands on the steering wheel. And I was actually wanting to go on errands on my own because I didn't feel anxious while driving anymore. After 2 major car accidents, driving was very difficult for me. My partner had to do the majority of the driving, and even while sitting in the passenger side, I would still panic and end up with chest pain or a headache. All of this stopped after I got into the habit of doing integrative meditation. Most of the time, I'm doing it at work, but when I go on long walks or sit while meditating, my meditation practice brings me a sense of relaxation and focus that had been inaccessible to me for years. So there was some PTSD there, right? She had 2 major car accidents in addition to that. So those negative charges were lodged in her system and were creating the reverberation effect of every time she's in the car, it's a trauma. It's reactivating that old traumatic thing from those car accidents. Added to that, she was working in a very, very busy chiropractic clinic where people are really walking the door with a lot of pain and suffering. And Janet and the 2 other assistants there are the first line of the people coming in. They're the first face that people meet and pour their trauma out to. And these women are really amazing. They were absorbing and absorbing and absorbing so much of that, leading to all kinds of problems, right? Including physical, the headaches and the different physical symptoms. So the integrative meditation has helped her tremendously, as has the process of decharging stress and strain. Why is this meditation so effective? Aren't all meditations created equal? Yeah, not actually so much. Especially when we're talking about the most effective method for self-care, specifically purposed in this way. There are hundreds of ways to meditate, and if you ask 100 different people, you'll hear 100 different techniques about how they are meditating, and also 100 different reasons why people are meditating. But here's some of the examples of how people might have found to meditate. Counting backwards, like picking a big number, 500 or 1,000, and just counting backwards from it. Guided visualizations, having somebody talk you through, now you're here, now you're there, you're seeing this, and so on. Following the in-breath and the out-breath, just being quiet and paying attention to the breath. Relying on a digital app for meditation. So it might be an audio of someone explaining things, or it might include music and like that. All kinds of digital apps out there, of course. Sitting in silence, just pure trying to be very quiet. Going to a happy place inside. Staring at a wall in the Zen tradition, some of the techniques there. Focusing on a visual diagram or a point, like a mandala, or literally a point on the wall. Walking in nature, or using mantras. Eyes open, eyes closed, eyes half closed. There are so many ways to meditate. It's really amazing. And I think that's a real gift, actually, to humanity, that so many people are interested in this kind of methodology. However, why this meditation is so effective, and yes, that's me sitting there meditating, it's the use of mantra. Especially mantras that are empowered for self-care, specifically for this purpose, which I will go into at length in the course of this training, in the later modules of it. So, wow, mantra, what is the deal? Why is it so helpful? Why is it so powerful? And I have to say, you know, like I've done pretty much every meditation technique that there is out there. I've done all the ones that I listed here, and plenty of others in my quest and search for the best meditation techniques and the most effective way to charge that inner battery. And honestly, mantras are the ultimate meditation technology. There's no other method that comes even close to it, in my opinion. So what are mantras? Just a thumbnail about them, and I discuss it at length in the rest of the training. They are ancient formulas to access specific energy. They're like recipes, you could say, or pin codes to particular types of energy. So if you want this kind of peace of mind, or if you want this sort of self-care, there are specific mantra formulas that allow us to access that directly. They are always small syllables from Sanskrit or other ancient languages from India. Many people think mantras are like affirmations or statements that they make over and over for themselves. No, they will not. The classical teaching of mantra is that they are these particular types of syllables, and there's a reason for that. In the sounds, in Sanskrit, they will say the form is the sound, and the sound is the form. You might say in the beginning was the word. And there are technically and truthfully kind of empowered angelic forms in the sound of the small syllables that go into mantra. And for that reason, they carry their own power and their own energetic technology. So it is a long established tradition of spiritual technology. Mantras have been around since the dawn of time. And in India specifically, they've been used for millennia, millennia, millennia. So this is not like, you know, made it up on the fly, hope it helps kind of technology. This is really ancient. And I think it's persisted because it's so powerful. They are not affirmations or positive sentences, as I said before. And really the most efficient meditation technique around, with the right mantra especially, and with accurate instructions about how to use it, which of course I give in this training. That's the whole point of this training. It is, in my very strong opinion, the ultimate meditation tool for extreme self-care. Let's look at the data. This is a little bit of the mantra meditation research that was done in the early 1970s on TM, Transcendental Meditation, which did center around a personal mantra, for those of you who are familiar with TM. And in the medical schools and the universities, they were doing a lot of research on the meditators of TM because the results were so consistent. It was easy research to do because it yielded, easy results, easy to track, always the same. So these are some of the things, the physiological effects, specifically a mantra meditation. Other types of meditation are not as efficient to the neurophysiology and to the deep state of rest and the deep state of breath relaxation that are found specifically with mantra. So what they found, these are two of the things, the level in rest, the metabolic rate drops dramatically when people do, and these were 20-minute sessions of meditation with meditators hooked up to galvanic skin response, EEG, EKG, and other indicators that could be tracked and let the researchers know exactly what was going on in their physical body and in the brainwave states and all like that. So what they found, deep levels of rest, which were reflected by oxygen consumption and a lowered metabolic rate. They also found a natural change in the breath rate. The breath would slow down and lead to incredibly relaxed and arrested state of the nervous system. That is a rested state, not an arrested state of the nervous system. So leading to, of course, great relaxation, which is really good for stress reduction, as we know. Here's more of the research from that time in the early 1970s. They found reduction in workload on the heart. Really important. Less strain on the heart. And blood lactate concentration levels drop. It's one of the indicators of stress in our system. So they found a significant decrease in stress, anxiety, and even in high blood pressure. And there are many programs and a lot of research on people using the TM process, the personal mantra, to physically lower blood pressure. That's been very well documented. Mantras have that kind of power. I should say this is not TM. It's a similar technology, but it's not the transcendental meditation exactly. But to say that because they researched on meditators with mantra specifically, this body of research is extremely germane to what I'm talking about and this technique that I'll be given. Here's the last one. They found deep relaxation and a reduction of anxiety and emotional disturbances indicated by a change in skin resistance. Skin resistance, they had the galvanic skin response tested while people were in a deep meditation state. And it turns out that skin resistance is a measure of how much electrical input your system will allow through the skin. When skin resistance is high, it means that you're actually absorbing less stress. So skin resistance in meditators with a mantra goes through the roof very quickly. So we become resilient. It's that kind of bulletproof that I was talking about, kind of a shield from absorbing too much stress and negativity and then having to decharge so much of it at the end of the day. Better you meditate throughout the day and then you're not having to decharge so much, right? Because you didn't absorb as much to start with. The brainwave states also indicate a state different from waking and sleeping. It creates a kind of restful alertness in the mind and in the consciousness level of a human being who's doing mantra. So the result here was relaxed and anxiety-free clarity, really enhanced alertness, but extreme relaxed alertness, which means it's easier to do the things that we have to do. Go about our business of the day in a relaxed but extremely alert and clear state. Which brings up the beautiful statement of my teacher in India: meditation is attention without tension. So the integrative meditation process, working while you work, allows you to be in that restful, relaxed state inside with excess clarity and creativity and resilience to stress. Sounds so good. So these are very simple tools. It's not a lot to learn, and it's certainly not a lot to incorporate into your day at all. Powerful results. Integrative meditation from Christopher DeMaio, who is a retired psychiatrist, talking about, again, the effects of this meditation with respect to PTSD, especially. The integrative meditation techniques did have an effect on my PTSD secondary to trauma in Vietnam. I was in Vietnam 1968 to 69 with the 3rd Medical Battalion, 3rd Marine Division, and was in the field with Battalion 19, known as the Walking Dead. They were targeted by Ho Chi Minh. There were, I think, something like over 1,000 people in the platoon, of whom 200 walked out alive. So Chris really saw unbelievable combat casualties, unspeakable horrors during his time in Vietnam. And it had plagued him for decades, actually. Part of why he became a psychiatrist was to help his fellow veterans figure out their PTSD and their trauma relative to Vietnam and war zones in general. He goes on, my sleep has improved. I find that if I have problems sleeping, doing the meditation does help me go to sleep 90% of the time. The number of nightmares I have is reduced significantly. I find that re-experiencing the traumatic events from Vietnam has significantly less emotional impact. Using this meditation has improved my ability to let go of old trauma. It does relieve stress and anxiety. I feel more happy and peaceful. So I'm really looking forward to sharing the rest of this very powerful, practical, and incredibly simple meditation method with you in the following video training modules. Here's to your self-care and to your relief. If you'd like to purchase the entire integrative meditation training series, there are 2 more videos after this one, and the training manual as well that goes along with them. You can go to the energeticsofselfcare.com and click on the integrative meditation product there, and you'll have access to all the rest of this training. You can learn it in one day and really enjoy months and years of effective, rapid self-care. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you checking out this video and hearing about this technique. And of course, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. There will be more videos like this talking about different aspects of the energetics of self-care. And I hope you have a great day. And yes, sign up to Walk in Wellness. And thank you for doing the work that you do and for representing in the world and for being interested in this kind of meditation.